To Get Smarter with Derek Kinney. He is back with us once again with your questions today. Derek, thank you for being with us today, and we've been getting the viewer email bag filling up here, so we've got to get into some of these. Jane in Grand Prairie is where we're going to start today, Derek. She says, I want to buy a house, but I'm worried about the real estate market. Should I buy now or should I wait? You know, this is something that it seems like we've been hearing from a lot of people, and it's always tough to give an answer on one of these. I'm curious what you think about that, Derek.
Yeah, Jason, it's always great to be with you. Jane, great question and a timely question. Many people are struggling with this. They've got the money, they've got the desire, but is this the best time to make one of the biggest decisions of their life? Listen, we're fortunate here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just like in states like Florida, Nashville, Tennessee, a couple other hot areas where so many people are moving here that the demand for houses still exceeds the supply, which is driving the price up. If you plan to be there 5 or more years, I would say yes. But keep in mind, your values might drop a little in the short term, but they'll likely come back over the long term.
That's a good point. It depends on how long you plan to be there. Scott in Arlington asks this, and I think Scott's probably in the same boat as a lot of people as well. He says, my son will graduate high school next year, and we haven't saved anything for his college. I want him to go to a good school, but I don't want to take on too much debt. What should we do?
Scott, you need to buy a Mega Millions lottery ticket today.
Amen to that.
Just kidding. Bottom line is you need to have a critical conversation with your son and give him a reality check and say, look, mom and I have not saved any money for your education. Let's come up with a game plan together to help you go to the school you want. The bottom line is do not give into the temptation to mortgage your house and mortgage everything to take out student loans to send your son to a college that they likely can't afford to pay back. The bottom line is what you do with the degree, not always where you graduate from, that determines your success. But bring your child in right away. Let them know so there's no surprises, so that there's a game plan and you can figure out maybe a state school that you're both happy with.
That's a really smart way of thinking about it too, Derek. You know, not trying to go too far above your means there, and apply for those scholarships. It seems like we're always doing these stories on these scholarships that go, you know, unclaimed. You know, they didn't get applicants for some of them. There's a bunch of them out there, and a lot of these schools now also will offer free tuition for families who make a certain amount or less. So, you know, once you narrow it down to a few schools, check to see if they're on that list. That might be a huge help. Let's get to Byron in Waxahachie now, Derek. He writes, my wife and I want to start a side hustle, but we don't know where to start. What ideas do you have? So do you have any ideas for them to start a side hustle here, Derek?
Yeah, let me make it easy. As a voice of reason to all of you watching right now with the same question, the bottom line is this. Don't think you have to go back to school to get some advanced degree to start a side hustle. You just want to ask yourself 2 questions. What am I good at? And what problem do I find a lot of people I know having that I could help solve? So for example, what we know is parents will always pay money to help their kids academically and athletically. I know our 4 kids, we have shelled out a whole lot of money to help with SAT prep, help them be a better soccer player, volleyball player. And if you're good in those skills and you can help encourage those kids, parents will pay you big money to help improve their kids' lives. Also ask yourself, with your friends, family, coworkers, what do people typically come to you asking for help with? Is it web design, proofreading, organizing an event, planning their vacation, and you just thought it's just something that rolls off you so easily? Now you can charge for it because, as I like to call it, your focus group, the people who know you, like you, trust you, ask you for advice. Other people will as well.
So it starts with identifying your strengths, and everybody has them. You know, even if you think you have no talents whatsoever, there's a chance that you know something that you can actually make some money off of. Let's finish with this one here, Derek. Tim in Dallas emailed to us and said, my wife and I are about 5 years from retirement. We've been diligent savers, but we worry that we won't have enough money. How do you know how much you will need so you don't run out? How do you know that, Derek?
Well, Tim, this is the big money question right here. And for many people, if you watch so many financial economists, they'll tell you 10 different things. Here's what I have known and has been proven in 25 years as an advisor. Live on a practice retirement budget. And here's what that looks like. About 6 months before you retire, begin to live on the exact dollar amount that you and your wife feel like you'll need to live the retirement you want. We had a client one time that actually direct deposited their entire paycheck into a separate account. We then sent them exactly the dollar amount they needed. So while they were working, they could test out exactly what they needed. So many people have worries and anxiety about what will retirement look like, and certainly they can't live on Social Security. Testing it while you're working is the #1 proven way I found to know how much you'll need for retirement.
Derek, can you do that before you get to 6 months out? Like if you're just kind of toying with the idea, that might be a good idea to try it.
Yeah, most people realize, oh my gosh, there's only 6 months till retirement. So I say 6 months, but if you want to test it 5 years early, a year early, here's what we find, Jason, is many people that test this realize they may be able to live on less than they think, and most people could then retire earlier. So by not doing this, it's probably costing you years of your ideal retirement.
Interesting. I was thinking it would go the other way, where you would panic and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to need way more money than I thought. So that's actually very good news, and maybe something we should all try out. See, that's why we have you on, Derek. You just bring things to the table that we don't think of. Derek Kinney, money and business expert and author of the new book, Good Money Revolution, with us once again. Thanks, Derek. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.